if she wasn't right. Did I mention how much I hate being a messenger? Makes me wish I had a writ so I could kill something. Anyway, Nayu wants to... Here. This should explain everything, sort of. It's a map. We change locations every other day for security reasons, just in case it falls into the hands of House Redorin or someone else with an axe. Never had to use a map before. Amateurs. This one leads to a key to one of our safe houses, and another map. The first map, it depicts a particular town, kind of like this one. Hint, hint. The rest? Well, you'll have to figure that out on your own. Look, I know you're helping Councillor Eris, but if that map falls into House Redorin hands, I'll probably have to kill you. Nothing personal, mind you. We're already having a bit of trouble with the house, and we'd rather not make matters worse. What are you implying? Can't a person do something nice to help out an ally every now and again? Oh, who am I kidding? I hate playing the messenger. Haven't you ever done something you hate because it was the right... Then you understand what I'm talking about. Being noble, doing the honorable thing. It can be a real pain in the arse, but a favor given becomes a favor. Well, look at you. You're a practical genius. Look, Nayu seems to trust you, so I suppose I have to. The Morag Tong has the authority to accept and carry out writs of execution. We keep the great houses from engaging in all-out war. The other houses have used us to take Redorin down a peg or two of late. To be frank, for all their vaunted honor, the house cries foul. As I understand it, the Morag Tong made mistakes in the past. Grew too arrogant. We had to lay low for more than a century. Now, what are you implying? Well, not all of us can afford to be so cold and heartless. I'd say I envy you, but that would just reward you for bad behavior.
Too much to do and too little time.
Sorry about all the subterfuge, but we can't be too careful when it comes to security around here. Don't be so eager, my darling. It reveals too much about your ultimate intentions. But yes, Veya would very much like to meet with you. Redorin records. House officials keep track of everything. Incidents, commendations, births and deaths. Whether important or mundane, they detail... Don't sound so offended. You had to know your hands were going to get dirty eventually. You are dealing with assassins and politicians, after all.
Quality and variety.
You had your chance to leave. Now I'm calling the guard.
Hard of hearing. No matter. Tell it to the guard. The guard is on its way, intruder.
still alive, I see. And since you're here, that means you weren't captured and hauled off to a Redoran dungeon. Good for you. Were you able to acquire the registry? And does it contain... Ulron was exiled? That can't be right. He's an exemplary officer and a good man. Plus, he's the son... I can see that. There has to be more to the story, but I'm not sure how we get it. Still, you proved you could be trusted. There's an abandoned cave along the coast. It's in the swamp and smells like rot, which makes it the perfect place to hide. Veya's supposed to wait inside, but she's bored. Get to the swamp and find Veya. She's eager for any information about her brother, so she's really going to appreciate getting that registry. Just try not to be too charming when you meet her. Veya would face too many temptations here in Balmora. Friends, favorite places, familiar sights and sounds, not to mention the proximity to all things House Redran. Oh, don't thank me, hero. As long as you're useful and don't betray us, then we're engaged in a mutually beneficial arrangement. Cross us in any way, however. It's not like personal relationships are against the rules, though I suppose they are sort of frowned upon. Anyway, my assignments always brought me back to Vardenfell, so we were able to... Anything's possible, but the Ulron I know holds honor above all else. I can't believe he'd do something so... Veya's young, bored, and stubborn. That makes for a volatile combination. She wants fresh air and freedom, I can't blame her. Danger's a relative term, especially when you're dealing with relatives. Veya can make her own decisions. If she wants to risk getting caught by House Redran, that's...
And you're sure it's Veya? House Redoran isn't emptying its coffers so you can chase your own tails out here.
You pay the war claws well, because the war claws are the best there is. We have the kitten scent. It's just a matter of time before my warriors catch her.
Of course, Ferhara. Just make sure she doesn't get out of the swamp. I'll take my soldiers and guard the eastern paths, in case she eludes your warriors again. Ah, the Counselor's lackey. I understand you've made significant progress in your search for Veya. As a matter of fact, my mercenaries have spotted Veya skulking about the northern portion of the swamp. Between my... Veya's brother. It's a sad story. Killed one of his own soldiers to protect an Ashlander of all things. I think they were being too lenient with... Ulron always had an unnatural attraction to the Ashlanders and their savage ways. He felt that Khajiit mercenaries of the highest order. For members of a lesser race, Ferhara's warriors are surprisingly effective. I employ them to bolster our forces, between obligations to the Pact and other matters. House Redoran, as you say. Ferhara's war claws take their contract as seriously as you.
Ferhara assumes the Counselor's minions will not present a problem for the war claws. Yes, Captain?
The Outlanders have been warned, Ferhara. I leave everything else to your discretion.
Ferhara enjoys a friendly rivalry as much as the next mercenary. But the Relef kitten belongs to Warclaws, yes. Forbade is such a complicated concept. It assumes that the rules are applied equally to everyone, and we both know Captain Briven's predecessor? Forgive Ferhara. This one can barely remember the names. Trade secrets, you understand. Ferhara can tell you the war claws do whatever it takes to accomplish the job.
By the three! You really shouldn't sneak up on a person like that. If you're working with those mercenaries, I assure you, you won't take me... Oh, right. Now you mentioned something about that. Look, I can't wait to hear what you learn. Unfortunately, there's a mob of those beast people between here and the cave. I was going to try and sneak past them, but every time I get too close, I think one of... You're going to tackle that mob of fur and claws? I'm impressed. Meet me at the cave when you're finished. I think we have a lot to talk about. Oh, meet me in the cave to the north when you finish with the mercenaries.
I can smell smell the dark elf kitten? Looks like we're the first ones here. Need aid!
Let's play this outsider!
Hurry before more of them show up. What do you think of my luxurious accommodations? It's got dirt and rock, fungus and a poultry fire, all the comforts of home. Anyway, you said you had information about my... No, that can't be right. Ulron's honorable and noble. He's a model soldier. What? My brother has always been interested in the Ashlanders. Even showed them a kindness the rest of the house doesn't approve of. But for him to... I know the tribe that Ulron liked to help. Brought them supplies and such. He'd go and visit their camp whenever our father wasn't paying attention.
She can handle herself just fine, hero. Veya, grab your things. It's time to go.
Go? Why? What's going on?
The Warclaws are marching toward this cave along with half the House Redoran soldiers in Balmora. We need to go now.
Damn it! They must have followed us. I'll get my stuff.
Dealing with an arrogant, impatient, overconfident young woman. Now I know how my mother must have felt. We need to move. It won't take those damn cats. The back tunnels. Better than heading out the front door and right into the main contingent of Redoran troops. Councillor Eris brought... One more thing. The back tunnels wind their way through territory that House Redoran recently acquired. We may run into some resistance.
I'm ready for anything. Well, except if the tunnels cave in on top of us. What? Nobody...
Search everywhere. Captain Priven thinks the Councillor's kitten might try to escape through these tunnels.
Damn! Those cat bastards are harder to shake than a blind date. This looks promising. Let's give it a try. That must be the way out. I just hope there aren't any Redderons up there. Oh no. Father ruins everything. I'm so close to finding my brother, and he shows up to drag me back home. Well, I'm not going back without a fight. You do that for me? Thanks, I guess. But what can you possibly do against all those soldiers? My father brought the whole damn army with him this time. Clever. Tell my father whatever he wants to hear. That might actually work. Afterward, meet me at the Ashlander camp to the south. Once I find Ulran and make sure he's all right, I'll meet with my father. But that meeting will be on my terms, not his. And tell him to call off his soldiers, or I might change my mind.
Halt! Who goes there?
Stand down. These outlanders work for me.
Well, look what the cat's almost dragged in. I'm not sure.
The captain reported that he had seen you in the area. There are also multiple reports that Veya has been spotted. Tell me, have you... I also said that the captain has his own resources. The war claws report to Briven, not me. Look, we're all just trying. It was a gamble, I admit. An opportunity I couldn't let slip away. You won't make me feel guilty. Very well. We'll do this her way. Veya can be as stubborn as her mother sometimes. But tell my... Do as I command, and let them pass.
I can't believe this. Why allow the Warclaws to run roughshod over the camp like this? What's House Redderin thinking? My brother often visited this camp. Took me along a couple of times. It used to be such a vibrant place. So full of life. If Ulran was here, he'd never stand for the Warclaws invading the camp. He told me the Ashlanders were the same as you and I. Different beliefs don't necessarily... I really want to help, but Naryu won't hear of it. We don't get our hands dirty unless there's a writ attack.
Veya, I don't think this is a good idea. We're trying to keep you out of House Redrin hands, remember?
You're not my parent, Naryu. I can take care of myself, even if the Mother of Blades doesn't think so.
Damn it, Veya! You know I hate that title.
If I'd realized how popular this camp was going to be with Outlanders, I would have moved the tribe ages ago. Ulran the Exile. He disgraced his family and lost his status, but I assume they dragged him off to the mine, along with most of the tribe who refused to let those tribunal dogs walk. It's a small hole in the ground, but it served us well until the Redderons and their Warclaws arrived. Now they toss my Get the key to the mine from either the Warclaw's commander or the supply yurt, whichever suits your needs. To keep the head and the body separate. As long as I'm here, I can't offer my people hope or... I have no doubt. However, my place remains with my people, at least for now. The Warclaws have treated me well so far. They believe I...
We're just going to burn them? Even the Redderin?
The captain called them traitors and savages. Said the good roasting was more than they deserved.
Down here! Come on! Wait, that smell?
Veya, stay back. You don't need to see this.
What happened here? Oh gods, they murdered these poor Ashlanders! Oh no! Oran! Oran! Wake up, please! You can't be dead. You just can't!
Veya shouldn't have had to see this. Even I'm finding it hard to believe that the mercenaries would slaughter these Ashlanders for no reason. Not to mention the son of a house counselor. I suppose anything could happen in the heat of the moment. But to kill a veteran, even an exiled one, that's presumptuous even for the war clause. I wonder if Eris knows about this. I'm not sure how Veya's going to get her answers now. I've seen these before. They use them in Eastmarch to record and send important messages. They're expensive and as rare as a sober Nord.
If you're listening to my voice, know that my time is short, and what I have to say is important.
Brother, is that you?
Everything that happened was a deliberate act to discredit me. I need to report the events so my sister can learn the truth about her brother. You have to understand, I don't share my house's hatred and distrust of Ashlanders. So, during my normal patrol, when I heard that Ashlanders had come to Balmora, I arrived to find one of my soldiers arguing with the Ashlanders. He spat at them, called them savages. When one of the Ashlanders objected, I ordered the soldier to stand down, but he ignored me and stepped toward the second Ashlander. I killed my own soldier. I had to. Before I knew it, I was dragged before the Red... I believe I was set up for this fall, but I don't know by who. I came to this camp for shelter, but House Redoran's reach grows ever longer. Now Captain Briven's here. I'm going to talk to them, just in case I made this stone for my sister Veya.
Oran! Damn it! What am I supposed to do now? Oran's not supposed to be dead. That wasn't the way this was supposed to end. What am I gonna do now? I still don't understand. Oran said someone set him up to fall. Who would do such a thing? So that's why they exiled him? That's why they killed him? He was too damn good? That's the problem? Oh, I'll find them all right. And when I do, they'll pay for what happened to Oran. I swear by Mafala's sacred web and the first blood my blade ever tasted.
I agree with Ulran's assessment. Certainly sounds like someone led him into a situation guaranteed to make him fail. I can't believe he put this burden on Veya, though. What was Ulran thinking? I didn't say that. Just not sure how to proceed. We're entering dangerous waters here, going up against House... I'm going to take Veya and head back to our safe house in Balmora. They found our cave, but the abandoned basement is still secure. After that, I'm not sure. The Morag Tong has... We can't just kill with wild abandon. We follow a code. We only execute those whose names appear on sanctioned writs. If we kill respectable citizens without a writ, that's just murder. You do that, but be careful. We're not sure who in the House Redoran is involved, and I'd rather not see you wind up like these poor Ashlanders. Veya and I still need your help to get to the bottom of it.
Maybe of assistance.
And so the Outlander returns, as we discussed in the swamp. I expected you to return with Veya, or present me with a complication. What kind of complication? I ordered my soldiers to stand down and let you do things your way. No, that's not possible. My son was banished, ordered to leave Vardenfell, and Veya was with you? And you left her out there? By the three, everything is unraveling no matter how hard I try to maintain control. Tell my daughter I'm sorry. Tell her she needs to stay away until I can calm things down. I don't want to see anything happen to her. Promise me. And take this. Consider it payment for your efforts thus far. If you'll excuse me, I need some time to consider everything you've told me. Once I determine the best way to proceed, I'll contact you. It was never meant to be an attack. I sent Captain Briven to clear land that already belonged to House Redoran. The Ashlanders were given... House Redoran has been slowly expanding in that direction for years. We claimed that area almost a year ago, but we were for... Redoran depends on that land for hunting and resources. The Ashlanders are like a plague. The captain serves House Redoran with honor and dedication. He's out doing his job. If Briven had anything to do with my son's death, he would have reported it. I'll speak to Briven when he returns. But understand, the captain operated under my orders.
Over here! Now you told me what you found in the Ashlander mine. I can't imagine what Veya must be going through right now. Nayu has responsibilities to tend to. Morag Tong responsibilities. Understand? You do understand. And Nayu implied you're as dense as the ash storms coming off Red Mountain. One other thing. Nayu's job concerns House Redoran. That's why she didn't want Veya to accompany her on this one. Veya's grief-stricken, angry, and ready to lash out. I have experience getting on a lot of people's bad sides. Something about who Nayu's target is. Thinks the target may know something about what happened to her brother. Look, carefully, and with your hands empty and clearly visible. She's in the safe house beneath Balmora, or at least that's where I left her. But I didn't lock the door, so I suppose she could be any...
Afraid no matter what Naru might think. Oh, it's you. Did Arshor send you to check up on me? I swear, the next person that treats me like a child is going to find my dagger in their stomach. No, I don't think so. It's just been difficult. Finding poor Ulran in the... I know, but Naryu's writ. It involves a Redoran counselor. Exactly the opportunity I've been waiting for. Well, Naryu wouldn't tell me any specifics, but she trained me well. It wasn't hard to sneak a glance at the writ before she took off. Her target's at Aren. I appreciate you agreeing to see what you can learn at Arenin Manor. My father used to say it was used by counselors as a retreat, but Mother always told me it was where they... That's all I've been doing, thinking. And I think Ulran was right. I think someone wanted him out of the way, and they orchestrated... Briven's as stubborn as my father when it comes to following the rules and regulations of House Redoran. Politics, foreign relations, the Ashlanders... You name an issue, and Ulran and Briven were probably on opposite... You did? How did he take it? I mean, he didn't... Really? I suppose that makes sense. I think he loves us, in his own way. But what else did he say? Did he know that Ulran had been... He didn't expect... My father doesn't know his children as well as he thinks. Either of them. I can't agree to that. I need to figure out what happened to my brother. Who was involved?
I expected you hours ago, hero. It's not polite to keep in us. I was wondering how long it was going to take Veya to convince you to follow me. But she thought I didn't notice when she glanced at my writ, didn't she? I know Veya wants answers, but this is my job. There are rules, especially... First, don't kill any Redrons. That's a violation of my writ and could have serious consequences. We need to be invisible. These things work best when no one but the target knows we're there. If you get spotted, you're on your own. I even cough on anyone without a writ, and the Morag. It's unusual, but not unheard of. True, most writs taken out against the house's target loaded. Councillor Dovera has been conspiring with House Drez to promote the slave trade and avoid scrutiny by Redrin and Pact officials. She played a dangerous, but I'm not privy to the laborious investigations that took place. In cases like these, though, the target usually becomes complacent and lets her guard down. She made. That's the question, isn't it? It nags at us the way the torchbug nags at the brave little scrib in those children's. I'm not saying that. Accidents happen. But they certainly made sure Uran was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Both in Balmora and again in the Ashland. Brivon's name keeps coming up. At the very least, he was Uran's best friend once. He might be able to shed some light on Uran and what happened to Cos. Veya's my apprentice, and I'll decide when she's ready to take on a mission. She's been through a lot. That's how it works. Her actions are my actions. Veya goes out and executes 3 writs. I share the credit. There have to be. My order came this close to being eliminated. It's only recently that we've started to make a comeback, and only in Dunmer territory. We need to be invisible. These things work best when no one but the target knows we're there. If you get spotted... What are you doing? You can't just go around killing Redrin soldiers. My reputation's on the line here. The front door's guarded like a bank vault. Maybe there's another way in through one of the buildings by the docks. See what you can find pertaining to Uran. I've got a dagger and a writ with Councillor Dolvara's name on them. So House Redrin issued an
Every woman has her price. Mine is 30 gold.
Damn the luck. I was hoping for a quick stab and go, but it seems the Councillor might actually know something about Uran. So Councillor Dolvera does know something about Veya's brother. Damn it all. Now I suppose you want to actually talk to her before I execute the walking pile of pond scum. Of course we do. I specifically waited for you to arrive because I figured that would be the case. Still doesn't mean I'm happy about blurring the line between helping Veya and... We discovered that the next meeting of the High Council will take place at the consulate outside Balmora. The war clause and the Ashlander abuse aren't completed. That means we have to get Dolvera to spill her guts before I spill her guts. Just keep your wits about you, hero. Dolvera wields her feminine charms the way I... According to my sources, the Councillor's expecting her contact from House Drez to arrive shortly. I think this is the first time that... Be quick with your questions, hero. When I slip in, So do my daggers.
Ah, you must be here about those pesky patrol schedules. After all that clandestine correspondence, it's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. Now, come closer so we can celebrate our partnership in a proper fashion. Well, look at you. I'm impressed. The last person House Drez sent over was so much more scruffy. I have a meeting with House Halalu shortly, but I think I can spare a few more moments for you to seal our partnership, you understand. The noble's banished son? Why does House Drez care about that? Never mind. Anything so we can get to the good stuff. Ulron was tested and found wanting. Chose the life of a savage over his own soldier. We stripped him of his rank and exiled him. Ulron's dead? I hadn't heard. As to who was behind the test of Ulron's loyalty, what does that matter? He failed and paid the price for his poor choices. What does all this have to do with our arrangement?
You aren't clever enough, or pretty enough, to avoid what's about to happen, Dolvra.
What's the meaning of this? Who are you people?
I'm a Morag Tong with a writ that says you're a criminal and a traitor. That means I get to end your miserable existence. Take another look around, hero, and see if you can find anything else related to Ulron. Alakir massage oils? Fancy. But that has nothing to do with Ulron. More proof that Dolvra was in bed with... That's Captain Briven's seal. I suppose our evil counselor courted favor wherever she could find it. The good Captain Briven appears to be more involved in Ulron's fate than I had imagined. He never struck me as the type to use murder and deceit to get ahead, but that's the problem. Or he's trying to hide something. The letter mentioned an intact squad sent to scout the old fort. If you can slip into town, sure, Veya should be told. But you didn't take my advice. You killed veteran soldiers.
This place is nice, but it's not a home. Feels like I'm hiding down here. People, don't play coy. I see it in your eyes. You've killed people. Or you will. You've got the same urges as I do. You never heard of Tamriel's most elite guild of assassins? Rumor has it that if you take an innocent life and they notice, they'll offer you a place in the Dark Brotherhood. Word of advice. Urges aside, the Dark Brotherhood prefers to keep a low profile. Just remember, kill an innocent, get noticed. My sources say they're recruiting in Anvil, on the Gold Coast. I'll be at the docks there if you want to talk some more. I don't want you to do anything. I'm just providing information. Letting you know that new opportunities... Don't take my willingness to help out as a sign or anything. I recognized a kindred spirit, and suggested a way to satisfy your darkest urges. They'll get... Hey, I don't know exactly how they select new recruits. I'm just telling you what I've heard. Maybe you just need to be in the right place at the right time. Like Anvil. That's one of the best things about the Dark Brotherhood. It hides in plain sight. No one knows where its headquarters is or how many members. Quite a few, actually. My favorite is the Night Mother's Truth. It describes the origins of the Brotherhood. Fellowship, safety, and security, to name just a few. I understand there's also a steady flow of gold from all the contracts. I'm not one to reveal my sources, but Fat Grakal told me that he overheard Seaworthy Sarala say that there have been some mysterious... Oh, I got that from Margog the Hammer. Buy him a couple of ales and he spouts secrets like a bard spouts poetry. Just the other day, he told me that his cousin Crus killed... You really don't know anything about the Brotherhood, do you? If they decide you're worthy enough to receive an invitation, one of their dark dignitaries shows up to deliver the news in person. It's kind of creepy, but it's also a thing. I don't want you to do anything. I'm just providing... Don't take my willingness to help out as a sign or... No need to be all insulting about it. Just remember that I understand. That mask you wear every day, the one you're desperately afraid is going to slip one day, you could throw that mask away in the Brotherhood.
Back again? Took your sweet time. You didn't learn anything, did you? Not that it matters. Oran's dead and nothing. What good is that going to do? They won't speak to us. House before family and all that. Believe me, I'm more rules. I thought we were beyond those kinds of limitations. Look, I need to figure out... Riven was Oran's best friend. Would he really betray my brother? Regardless, I want you to have this. You could have handed me to my... So which soldiers are we talking about? I know most of the people my brother used to work with. Eyewitnesses are better than notes in the house registry, provided I can actually get them to talk to me. There's no time to waste. That fort's near the cave where I was hiding. Last time I was there, the fort was crawling with cultists. We'll get Vatala and his soldiers killed. I know the process. Turning in a writ can take hours, maybe even an entire day. I'll leave Naryu a note. She can meet us at the fort. Let me gather my gear and write a note for Naryu. I'll meet you near the Hlormaran stronghold. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am that we'll learn who's responsible for Oran. As far as I'm concerned, rules got my brother killed. They don't apply to me anymore. Besides, to find the soldiers, we're probably going to have to carve a path. That's what the handbook says. Look, I know what Naryu's done for me. To keep me safe, I appreciate that. No, never. You and Naryu aren't my enemies. I know Vatala. He's a typical Redoran soldier. Loyal to a fault. Always spouting nonsense. Oran had a habit of putting the needs of others ahead of his own. He probably told Vatala and his soldiers to remain quiet. You're here, I'm here, the damn cultists are here. You know who isn't here? Vatala and his squad. Naryu's probably busy clearing her writ, and we don't have time to wait. This opportunity to learn more about what happened to Oran won't last much longer. Fine. You wait for Naryu. I'm going to go and find those soldiers. Their orders were to scout the old stronghold. I suggest we search along the outskirts and see if we can pick up their trail. Corporal Darvel. I knew him. But the others, they're civilians. They must have taken Tellem's soldiers inside. Let's find the soldiers and get out of here before these stupid cultists realize what's happening.
Who's that? We won't let you take us without a fight. Wait, Veya, is that you?
Thank the three! You're all still alive!
I'm not sure what you and Veya are doing here, but let us out. Then we can return Veya to her father. Councillor Eris has been terribly worried since she disappeared. This isn't the time or the place to have that discussion. Get the key to this cage, and then we can find a private place to talk. One of the cultists carries the key. I don't think he's too far away. We hear him patrolling around every so often. Free us, and I'll...
You find the key. Me and Vatala. We're going to have a little chat while we're waiting.
Veya, I'm just trying to protect you.
Ah, another sacrifice for the Prince of Bargains.
Veya, wait! You can't leave us like this! I knew I shouldn't have told Veya the truth. I just made everything worse. Please let us out of... I told her what she wanted to hear. I was with Captain Ulran the day everything happened. I was commanded to lure the Ashlanders to town and set up a situation for Ulran. My orders were to invite the Ashlanders to Balmora to trade, send some local toughs to instigate a commotion, and then get Ulran to investigate. It was just supposed to be a loyalty to Captain Briven, though he was still a lieutenant at the time. As soon as I explained all this to Veya, her face turned dark and she stormed out of here. I think she's going to Balmora to kill him. You need to let me out so I can warn the captain. Thank you. Now, get to Balmora and stop Veya before she does something she'll regret.
I leave you and Veya alone for a couple of hours, and everything goes to oblivion in an ore cart. Why did Veya leave the safe house? And why is House Redren tearing the city apart to find her? You did what? I suppose you thought that was a good idea? Well, the damage is... That explains why Veya broke into the kin house. I'm not sure what happened in there, but she certainly stirred up the Redren soldiers. If Veya kills Briven without a writ, the Morog Tong and House Redren will both want her head on a silver platter. You check the kin house.
The young woman, she killed them all. Didn't say a word, just walked in, drew her blades, and cut down every soldier who tried to stop. She headed upstairs, to Captain Briven's apartment, I think. No, she totally ignored us. Just the sort...
What's the meaning of this? Where are the soldiers? If you're looking for my husband, I'll tell you the same thing that I told that brazen young woman. The council is meeting outside Balmora, and Briven is protecting the councillors. Now, if you don't mind, I've had more than enough excitement for one day. I could barely make sense of the nonsense she was spouting. It was Veya, Councillor Eris's daughter. Everything she said was a ramble. Something about my husband, but she had a knife. But no, she didn't harm me. She said her brother wouldn't hurt an innocent, that I wasn't responsible. You shouldn't get involved. That young woman will hasten her own death if she thinks she can get past my husband and his soldiers. But if you insist... Dead soldiers? They were just protecting the kin house. I'll go stay with my sister in Vivek.
Please tell me you found Veya. I can already feel the cold steel of the executioner's blade on the back of my neck. Is Veya trying to get herself killed? You can't just barge into a veteran garrison and ask the soldiers to stand aside while you murder their captain? We have to get... She murdered soldiers without a writ. This is a dark path she's decided to follow. And unless we play this just right, it's not going to... I don't like the looks of this. Brivin is using war claws to patrol the garrison instead of veteran soldiers. Either house forces are stretched thin. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. We know Ulron refused to employ mercenaries. The war claws may be a blessing in disguise. I can explain killing these bastards a lot easier than trying to wipe Redrin blood off my hands. There's no stealthy way to approach this. The front door's our only option. Then we track down Brivin, find Veya, bonk her on the head, and get her out of here before she does something I can't fix. Easy as... Glad to see we all made it. Now let's find Brivin before Veya skewers him. Like many Redrin structures, this place is huge and designed to serve a multitude of purposes. We're going to need to split up to cover it all. We must find Brivin and keep him. He's going to be as mad as a bullnetch and twice as ugly, provided we can actually convince him we're here to save his sorry hide and that we're not part of a plot to kill him and the counselors.
Kill the intruders! They have interfered for the last time!
Aid me!
Sounds like a... You! What are you doing here? Explain yourself! What in the name of the three are you up to? Veya? She's barely out from under her mother's apron and she presumes to judge my... Ah, now everything becomes clear. Veya learned something of her brother's fate and you're looking for the responsible party. Then look no further than Council. A test Ulron failed. Eris was...
That's for Ulron. Choke on your own blood, you bastard. My father, the entire council, they're all guilty. They all have to die. I have to do this, so stay out of my way.
Veya actually did it. She killed Brivin in cold. Veya killed Brivin. Without a writ. It was pure, focused rage. I never expected her to go through with it. If Veya... I'm not sure they deserve to be saved, but that's what we have to do. Veya can't be allowed to kill the counselors. We, the Morag Tong, only recently began to find acceptance again. Veya's actions don't just reflect badly on me, they could be used to force us back in. We have to get ahead of her. Cut her off. There's a door on the main floor, near the kitchens, that should allow us to come at the council meeting from another direction. I was able to get it open when I was scouting around up there. Let's go. Let me try to open this door.
Veya, daughter, I'm so sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen.
Come on, stubborn, stupid
Father,
look.
Why? Does the house really matter more than your own son?
I needed to protect Ulron, to prove his loyalty. If I could do it all over again.
But you can't. None of us can. That's why I have to do this.
No! That's an order!
I'm not your apprentice anymore. The house has grown corrupt, evil. That's why all the councillors have to die. No more rules! No more secrets! House Redoran falls today!
Enough, Veya! This isn't the way! Veya's down. It's over.
So much bloodshed. So much needless death. If only Eris would have listened. Outlander, we should speak. I think we can help one another. The Morag Tong agent. She cares deeply for Veya, doesn't she? It takes great courage to go against your heart, and a series of regrettable decisions led to this family tragedy, and most of them were made by Eris Relith. I knew of Ulron's compassion concerning the Ashlanders. It was unorthodox, but not worthy of the punishment meted out. Eris convinced Briven to test Ulron. Then the two of them decided to slaughter the Ashlanders. Oh, the council allowed itself to be convinced that exile was an appropriate punishment, but we were wrong to let it go as far as it did. I didn't say that, but we're not butchers. We do not hire mercenary thugs to wipe out an entire people. This gathering was to deal with that. Eris' plan. House Redoran behaved poorly. Morag Tong rules were violated. I suggest we make sure these details never see the light of day. Leave the bodies where they are. We will say that Veya died. Cooperate with House Redoran and hold your tongues. It's as simple as that. I shall return to the council meeting and conclude our business. When we're finished, I expect you and Naryud.
I'm not sure about this. It's a generous offer, but those are some big secrets to sweep under a rug. Besides, the High Counselor thinks we killed her. The deal hinges upon all of us forgetting this sorry mess ever happened. Besides, once Veya regains her senses, there's every likelihood that she'll try to kill the counselors again. When have I ever been able to convince Veya to do anything she didn't want to do? There's Redoran blood on Veya's hands. Once the Morag Tong ties those unauthorized murders to her, she's as good as dead anyway. I don't see many options. We can either finish off Veya now, and go along with the High Counselor's deception, or we slip out of here with Veya and send her far, far away. She broke her vows and deserves to die. I know that, but it still feels wrong. You're right. If anyone's to blame for all this, it's me. I wasn't a good enough mentor. If for no other reason, Veya deserves a second chance. Look, you need to leave. We'll meet back in Volmra. And Hero, thanks. Go on. I'll get her out of here before the council notices and meet you in Volmra.
volcano scares me more than a mountain bear that's guzzled a gallon of bottled buzz. Still, I'd rather be here than under that floating rock looming over Vivek City. That's just...
How many times have I told you not to stick your blade in your apprentice's Nayu? She'll live, but she can't stay here. Not after what she's done.
I've got that covered. Veya won't be staying in Vardenfell. Ashur did an outstanding job. For an assassin, he's got a gift for the healing arts. Veya's going to live. Now I just have to convince her to listen to me this time. And as far as she knows, she did. Now Veya needs to disappear. Otherwise, both Redrin and the Morag tongue will go after her. Believe me, nobody survives that kind of attention. Veya didn't ask for everything that happened. She only wanted justice. I've arranged for a ship captain I know to meet us in Vivek City. From there, Veya will sail to Somerset and rendezvous with an associate of mine. He's kind of furry and a bit of an arse, but he's good people. He'll take care of Veya. As long as everyone sticks to the bargain, I go about my usual business. A writ here, a nice bath there, maybe a few intimate encounters along the way to relieve the tension, you understand? I just hope Veya's good with all this. She has to be. Always, hero. Oh, hey, I want you to have this. Something to remember me by until we meet again. I hope you don't leave here with the impression that all dark elves are conniving dirtbags. Some of us are also kind of sexy. Like me, for instance.
Nari... What happened?
Quiet, Veya. Rest now. We can talk later.
This goes against every protocol, but I couldn't let poor Veya bleed to death. I patched all the holes you people put in her, and she should recover, given time.
I don't have to go, you know. I can help clean things up around here. I know how to keep a low profile.
This isn't up for debate. You're going. How did I know you were going to show up, hero? Can't get enough of my smiling face, hmm? I know she tried to murder a kin house full of counselors, but she spilled Redrin blood without a writ. She broke the rules of the Morag tongue. As I see it, I don't have a choice. Veya needs to remain dead in the eyes of Vardenfell. Only if it fails, and that's not going to happen. Somerset is far enough away that no one will find her. Besides, Veya needs time to heal and make a fresh start. Shall we?
Nara, you thought you might stop by. You probably hate me, and I completely understand. I lost my brother. I killed my own father. I kind of went crazy out there for a while. I don't think I'll ever put this completely behind me. But I'll do to Somerset. But don't tell anybody. She was quite adamant about that. She's given me a letter of introduction for some high... Look, I'm sorry. Oran's death made me crazy. That's no excuse. But I'm never going to forgive House Redrin for the attitudes that brought us here. I'm done with them.